Crosby to try to win it. And the kick is good to win the game. The 49ers couldn't take enough time off the clock at the end. All Aaron needed was 37 seconds.
It's a beautiful sport, isn't it? They call soccer the beautiful game. But when football is at its best, as it was on Sunday night between the Packers and Niners, it could feel like you're watching a movie. And that's what it was like. The Niners down 6 points with a couple minutes to go. Jimmy G leads them down the field. Robbie Gould hits the point after they're up a point. But Aaron Rodgers is on the other side. And he hits two big strikes to his guy, Devontae, setting up a 51-yard Mason Crosby field goal attempt. Bang, straight through the uprights. Packers 30, Niners 28. And after the game, Michelle Tafoya talked to Aaron Rodgers, who was also feeling the beauty of the sport.
You know, Matt actually suggested that play on the sideline, that first play, which was something we actually worked on Friday at practice, kind of scribbling in the dirt, and it worked out perfect. Just put it right over Fred's head, got us kind of down there a little bit. We needed one more play. How can you not be romantic about football, man?
I know you believe that, Greg.
I do, especially in a night like this, a moment like that for Rodgers, where you're watching one of the greatest ever at the very height of his powers. You know, the numbers in the box score are 261 and 2. And you think, oh, that's a solid game for Rodgers. This is one of the best games I've seen Rodgers play. I mean, there's a million of them.
Easy there, easy.
But he was almost
a career. He
was almost perfect from the first throw. Was a gem to Lazard for 42. The touchdown to Valdez-Scantling was beautiful. He had an earlier throw to Davante Adams in the game where it's just like there's no room there. And then the rest of the game, they're doing all this quick game because that was the game plan, and that's working beautifully. Probably the only thing he did wrong, and LaFleur can be part of this too, was blow all those timeouts early in the half. But you know what it did? It just made it more exciting. They made the degree of difficulty even greater when he gets the ball, 37 seconds left, no timeouts, and they run those two plays, and that first throw to Adams is such a tough throw. It's such a great call against like a cover two in a 2-minute situation where they're trying to cover everything, and you just can't cover that throw, and he makes it absolutely perfect, and he sets up Crosby, who might not be in the corner. You know, Tucker's getting all the attention, but
right.
Crosby's hanging out in the kicker club tonight,
again,
too.
it's the Farrah Fawcett, Michael Jackson thing, because Crosby should be celebrated. Instead, he's getting fauceted. The faucet's getting turned on him, but he has been nails for them. And Aaron Rodgers said after the game, in addition to the comments you heard, that he sits next to Mason Crosby on every plane flight. They love each other. He respects him so much, and that was such that was such a gutsy kick. Kickers are so much better now than they used to be. That when a guy drills a 51-yarder, 25 years ago that would have been unheard of. But now it's just like, oh yeah, he drilled it from 51. You could make a case, Greg, that Rodgers brilliant. But how does Davante Adams, of all people, get wide open twice?
He was not wide open.
Right.
That's where I would argue. That first throw, the degree of difficulty on that, how deep Adams got, how far back Warner was as like the linebacker
but
trying
you know
to
where the
cover
ball's
that.
going. It's going to Davante.
But he had to throw that so hard, and yet over the zone, like that is such an incredibly high degree of difficulty throw. So I'm not saying he's open at all. And he has to reset his feet, moving 2 feet. I can't remember if it was to his left or his right before he threw it because he felt the pass rush going. I'm not buying that at all. I don't know if anyone else in the league makes that exact throw at that moment. It was perfect.
I think, yeah, there's definitely something to be said for maybe the defense wasn't perfect in that spot by the Niners, but sometimes one of the greatest of all time just beats you, and that's what happened. And, there's a bunch of subplots to come out of this game because the Niners are getting shut out in the first half. It's so hard for them to find the end zone. When they finally do in the final seconds of the second quarter, it's, of course, Trey Lance who does it on a 1-yard run after what had to be a brutally painful sequence for Niners fans that, like, why is this so hard to score. And then I'm thinking to myself as the second half is playing out, and Jimmy G has that bad fumble that seems to hand the game to the Packers midway through the fourth quarter, that, oh, this is going to be the week where Kyle Shanahan might have to make the change because this offense is just not getting it done. And it makes me think what Jimmy G was able to do on that 75-yard drive in about 2.5 minutes. It would have been better if it was 3 minutes, but that's just the way it is with Aaron Rodgers on the other side. Jimmy G really saved his own bacon, even if he wasn't able to save the Niners.
But this is the Jimmy G experience. This is why they drafted Trey Lance, because these sort of games drive you crazy watching Jimmy G. Just when you think you're out, you get back in, and just when you think you're in, he does something that you come back out. But it's still the same Jimmy G, which he is frenetic, his feet. Like Tom Brady gets lauded for having very quiet feet. He's very calm in the pocket. He's moving only the steps that he needs to. And Jimmy G is patting all around. He's patting the ball, and he's turning around. This is the second straight week where he kind of threw the ball backwards because he didn't know where he was. And even on that touchdown drive, I don't want to knock the touchdown drive too much, but Deebo Samuel makes an unreal play. George Kittle makes a great run after catch. Juszczyk makes a great play to score the touchdown. You kind of got to give it up to the teammates too. And I'm gonna fall. I don't know if it's Shanahan or Jimmy G. When they snap the ball, there's there's about 42 seconds left, and there's 12 seconds still left on that play clock. They have all 3 timeouts. The Packers had left themselves in a vulnerable spot with no timeouts at all. Poor game management. And I tweeted the second that play happened, they snapped that ball with 12 seconds left on the play clock. Time was not a factor at that point, and it was giving me flashbacks to a little Kyle Shanahan Falcons Super Bowl. How about that?
Oh, you got to bring that up.
I mean, that was the all-time. You're snapping the ball earlier than you need to, but even in that moment, you're thinking there's no need to be snapping it with 12 extra seconds.
Well, that's
left.
fair. That's fair. And in general, a tough night for Kyle Shanahan, who there's a lot of drama. We talked about it in the preview show on Thursday. Now between the Packers and the 49ers, connected to the potential pursuit or the legitimate pursuit of Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, and how that led now to a potential fracture of the relationship between best bros, Kyle Shanahan and Matt LaFleur. Of course, Icy Bros Gate got a little more pop and sizzle at midfield at the end of the game because these bros were icy, and they just passed like 2 ships in the night. And then I was watching the post-game presser, and of course the Niners beat reporter asks about it, and Shanahan feigns ignorance on it. It's like, oh, it's a busy game, end of the field goal. I don't even really know what was happening, but we know it's Icy Bros Gate, and I love it.
That was some Mangini Belichick stuff right there. I actually was surprised because earlier in the week we said, "Are we on handshake watch here?" And it ended up, delivering. I'm not happy the Packers won because I picked the 49ers. I always root for my picks, but I do think this was the deserved result. This was a game, if the 49ers won, that I felt like they stole. I just don't think that they were the better team. I thought the Packers were able to run the ball. The 49ers were not. Rodgers was clearly the better quarterback. I thought they had the better game plan. Football is just a game of a couple plays here. The Packers had all these pass interferences, too. A couple calls went against the Packers, and I just felt like they looked like the better team. So even though it was a crazy ending, I think the deserved team got the result.
It's funny that you use that word, stole, because when I was in the NFL Network film theater
humble brag
with MJD tonight, I said the same thing when Crosby came on and hit the field goal to make it 27-21. It's like, the Niners, I know it feels unlikely, but they could steal this game. And I would have said it to you, Greg, but even though I sent you multiple texts to come join me in the theater,
you didn't say that.
You never came. You never came, and you left me in there. And when MJD needed to go to the studio to join Chris Rose for the post-game show, it was the old Zeuser sitting alone in a movie theater watching the end of this game, and that hurt. Okay.
This is the most Dan story. I'm the main character in the movie plot line ever. You had your whole setup the whole second half because you wanted to watch Yankees and football. So we weren't in the same place.
Do you want to know what happened with that Yankee Red Sox game while we're here?
Well, I assume the Yankees won now, but based on the look on your face. So I'm watching, trying to catch up, trying to do things at my desk. Then you send me a text with 5 minutes left after I'm all set up. I've been doing my notes, and you didn't even say come over. You just said I'm in the film room. FYI.
Oh, you want me to beg you to come?
I'm in the film room. FYI. At that point, it was too late. You knew where I was. You could have come to where I was.
Let's see. At 8:05, I'm in the film room. FYI. Mentioned that MJD is with us. MJD burying me about Robert Saleh. And then you wrote, sounds fun, Slammer. And I wrote, it was just the two of us. Now I'm alone in here. Ha ha.
That is kind of sad.
At what point is the light go on with Greg? Or maybe just Greg doesn't want to hang out with me. Maybe that's what it is. In a movie theater at NFL Network watching the best Sunday night game.
I'm watching the game at my desk the whole second half. You should have come to me. You were the one that needed the whole setup. I didn't know where you were.
Now I really miss Mark. Anyway,
took that.
Despite that, it was a great game.
He wouldn't sit with you in the theater last week.
No, I was the one in there.
Too.
If we had watched the whole second half there, I would have done it. That's what I was expecting to do. But you wanted to do a different setup. At that point, I'm not changing my setup with 5 minutes left in the game.
We should do a contest, Ricky. Like maybe a listener will want to sit with me in the NFL Network movie studio.
Giveaway. Yeah, I bet a lot of people would, Dan.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Maybe.
This place is locked down pretty tight. You can't even get family in here. There's no way.
All right, good stuff. 30-28, and power rank is going to be tough this week. This is a really interesting week in the NFL. Kind of feel like we hit the reset button now as we reach October. A little update real quick before we go on Andy Reid, the Chiefs head coach, who fell ill at the conclusion of Kansas City's loss to the Chargers today. This from the Chiefs came out about an hour ago. Reid was evaluated by our medical staff in the locker room and as a precaution was transported to the University of Kansas Health System for further evaluation. Coach is doing well, currently resting, and in stable condition. Okay?
That's good.
Stable condition sounds scary, but that's a good thing. So get well soon, Coach. Get well soon.
To answer your question, yes, I would like you to beg me.
I think sometimes like typical male bonding escapes you. And I don't say that as like an attack mechanism against you. I just say like I was kind of opening the door and then you would come roll in and we'd enjoy the end of the game together.
The door was open the whole second.
It's just traditional male bonding.
You knew where I was. You went to go hang out with MJD.
We'll be back on Tuesday. And thank you to everybody for dealing with my stupid voice today. Hopefully that will be better on Tuesday. But get well soon, Mark Sessler. I don't think we'll have him Tuesday, and probably not for this upcoming week, but we're going to make sure Mark gets completely well before he's back with us.
Get better, Mark.
So get well soon, Mr. Sessler. And thank you to everybody for listening, and let's go. Week 3 in the books. Oh, we're just getting started. The beautiful game. Heed the call.